When I look at the rotation, what is that? Is that a Trump tax trade, or is that a rebalancing into the end of the quarter?
No, I think when we look at the US specifically, it is very much, I think, a return to looking at the tax cut package that you've just been talking about. Because what is quite clear is when we look at our own BNP low tax reform basket, so companies that should benefit should corporate taxes be cut, this basket of stocks has actually underperformed dramatically from February this year until about a month ago. So it tallies very much with the chart you just put up there. You've seen a dramatic recovery in these companies as the market has gone from pricing 0% chance of tax cuts to something more than zero. And I think that's also exactly why smaller mid-caps do better, because of course they have more domestic exposure to the US economy and therefore have higher tax rates and should benefit more from any cut in the domestic tax rate.
Edmund Shing, there's also been this excitement about the big caps leveraging the global growth story, and I wonder whether we're having a pivot away from that, whether actually a market is identifying almost peak growth in the global economy. What do you think about that?
Well, I'm not so sure about that, Jonathan, because if you look at the US again and you look at the breakdown of the performance of the S&P 500 index year to date, you will, of course, observe that a very select number of largely technology stocks, such as Apple and Facebook and so on, have been disproportionately driving the gains in the S&P 500. And what we're actually seeing at the moment is not so much an underperformance of large caps per se, but an underperformance of these leading tech stocks. So whether you talk about Apple, maybe some disappointment over the announcements of the iPhone 8 and 10. Clearly, you have also some unwinding in Amazon and Facebook, in Google as well. And it all seems to be happening at the same time. But I think that is very specific to perhaps the very strong performance of tech. There is some profit taking and maybe some reversion to mean, as opposed to large caps underperforming on a greater scale.